taking a look at Blackwing Shadow today, and this is in normal mode. And I'm really excited about this because I got to play a healer in this raid, and I was on mech team, which was just so much fun. So let's take a look at the markers. Now there's different arrangements you can have as far as how this is set up. I have another Blackwing Shadow normal video for the first down that I did, and that is from facing the boss differently. So I'll put that in the description in case you guys want to check that out and see what works better for your guild. For this one, we're just going to pull the boss straight back. And over here, there's a set of markers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's because there's a mech where you're going to drop these balls, and there's 5 of them. And they're the furthest from the raids, so you're going to have the 5 people there. The green square here is where the raid will stand. And the purple circle that you saw right next to us is where the boss is going to be tanked. Now that white star in the distance is kind of where we want the dragon's tail to face, just a little bit angled away from the raid. But it doesn't always happen, but at least that's kind of the idea of that white star. And then just kind of off to the other side, there's a mechanic where you're going to get these bombs, and 2 of the players will get them. And you're just going to run to the other side as far as you can from the raid. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at this pull. Alright, tanks are going to pull the dragon off to the side a little bit and then turn him back towards the purple. And this is how, it kind of works a little bit better to get him angled. Now, the 5 furthest people from the raid are going to be standing on those markers. They'll get a purple ring around them, and you just step forward to avoid those circles. Now, 1 person is in charge of popping these, and they just step on each one in turn. You'll get stacks, so about 3 stacks is a good idea. Let those stacks go down, and then go ahead and get the other 2. You don't want everybody on the raid just running onto them. 1 designated person seems to work best. So it's really important to have all of your raid on this green marker close to the boss. That way you don't have people kind of getting those circles all over the place. Tanks here are standing at the purple marker and switching off at 8 stacks. Now, once the first set of orbs is done, I kind of ran back to the 3 and found that as my home because I didn't want to end up missing the orb phase. So up next was another round of orbs. And again, you'll start getting this red text over your head, purple pulsing around you, and then you just step forward. And then, as you can see, one of the people was out of line, so the tanks ended up getting the orbs, which actually happens quite often. Not all the time, but if you're not in the right place, the tanks will often get one. So here, again, we're just going to go through and pop these orbs one at a time, and everyone stays close to the boss for DPS. Okay, up next is the sleep phase. It's kind of like the phase shift of this raid. The first 2 columns are going to go around the right side of the circle, and the last 3 columns are going to go around the left side of the circle. And what you need to do is kill the adds that are coming from around the circle before they reach the boss. It will heal the boss and do damage to the raid. But if you're too close into this red, you will end up taking a lot of damage. So you try to kind of get this at a little bit more of a range. The further out from this red you are, the less damage you will take. So as you can see, there's these wraiths in the middle, and we're just kind of completing the circle, going around in order to kill these mobs. Now, if you're a tank at this point, once the red disappears, you're probably going to want to go back to the purple marker so you can get the boss in the correct position when he gets back up. But if you're DPS or heals, just kind of go around the boss until you've gotten all those raids, and then you're going to run back in. Now, up next is Death Gaze. The players with red text over their head must run as far from the raid as they can. You'll also get this purple circle around you and this little orb over your head. Just move away until it explodes and then move back in. Now, following that is Spires, and what you need is 1 person on each spire. This is just like Temple A, and in this case, I'm just going to run out and heal them because there's already 1 person on each spire. This is usually the mech team that is also getting the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 orbs. Here you have the Void Storm, and you just need to have everybody move out. As a tank, I found moving straight back to be a little bit more helpful, and I didn't have to get completely out of Void Storm. Here is Seeds. use your dispel healers to dispel these. Now they assign 2 healers to dispel first and then 2 healers to kind of get the next set. Just make sure those seeds are dispelled. After that, you do not need to go back to the markers for this phase. You don't have to do that until later. But there is another round of Death Gaze here. You just saw the red text over their head. Move to the back of the room while the rest of the raid moves off to the side where there's a yellow marker over there. This way you're not getting hit by the Death Gaze at the same time they're moving. You're not going to the same location. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and continue to try and DPS the boss just a little bit. Everyone back to this green square again, and that's where most of the raid is going to stay. Next we get another round of these demon spires, 1 person on each spire, and that way it's good to have some healers back there too, just to help heal again. And once those disappear, you're going to have the 4 players must coordinate to stomp out the soul. So 4 players on each of these little purple areas. Now you do get stacks. Watch out that they don't get too high. You might need to give it a second before you jump on the next pad of, for 4 players. That way you don't get too many stacks at once. But once those are all down, move back over to the boss, to that green square. Okay, after this, the boss is going to do that phase shift again. So he's going to go back to the center to kind of go to sleep. And you want to make sure that you stay to the outside ring here. And again, the first 2 column of people go to the right to just DPS these ad of wraiths that go towards the boss. And the last 3 go around to the left to kill these wraiths before they reach the boss. Again, you don't want them to get to the boss or they will explode and do AoE damage as well as heal the boss. And just go ahead and keep going all the way around until all of them are down. There are ones in the front as well. And once this red mist is gone, the tanks should go back over to the purple marker so that they can get ready to pull the boss back over there for the raid. Alright, once they're all down, they just go ahead and head back to the green square, and the tanks are going to see they kind of pull the boss out to an angle and then back over to the purple marker to angle him. We have seeds here, so make sure to dispel. That will often wipe the raid if the seeds don't get dispelled very well. Alright, we do have another round of those circles where you have to stand at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marker here. So we're all back on those markers for that next phase. The rest of the raid needs to stay in close to the green square to make sure you don't end up with these circles around you. Now we did have one person miss the circle in the line, and so we ended up with the orb in the raid. Just go ahead and walk. They had somebody just walk on that to clear it, and then cleared out the other ones. Remember, only a few stacks, maybe 3, and then give it a break for the stacks to go down, and then go ahead and get the other ones. Alright, next up is seeds, and go ahead and dispel the seeds to make sure that you don't have those killing the raid, and also move out for Void Storm. These mechs start to overlap in this phase. So go ahead and move them out and then run back in to the green square. Stomp out the Demon Spires is next. So again, we've got seeds, as you can see, dispel again, and get the Demon Spires. One person on each spire will do the trick there. And then 4 players to stamp out the vortex again. So I'm going in the wrong way. So you're going to have the vortexes in the back where you have 4 players on each one. Here you can see it better now. And we're just going to go ahead, and this is where we had to pause a little bit before we ran to the next one, just to give some time for those stacks to drop off just a little bit. And we also ended up with Void Storm right afterwards, again kind of overlapping mechs, but the boss went down. So that was it. And those are all the mechs that you will see in this raid. Hopefully you found this helpful and you have a little bit better idea of what the healers and DPS need to do in this raid, as the other one is more kind of from a tank point of view. Thank you for watching.